Even though technically nothing has changed except like a number on a page, but it's always exciting to talk about what we're going to read in the next month. So let's go ahead and talk about March. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back to talk a little what is to be read today, guys. We'll be talking about all of my plans for March of 2023. So I'm excited for this, guys, because there are some things I had to shuffle around because I did get wrapped up in a new series I kind of wanted to work into the regular schedule here. So this is going to be quite an ambitious month because I've got some chonkers that I plan to read in March. So guys, this is going to be the order that I plan to read them in. Also, I kind of got to give you a light spoiler warning. I'm going to read off of the back cover of some of these books here, and some of them are sequels. So I just want to give you a light spoiler warning. I keep them as vague as possible. I do kind of go through and proofread them first, anything that I think will be super spoilery. And I just want to let you guys know, in case you want to know absolutely nothing about some of these sequel books, just want to get that warning out there. So I don't get accused of ruining someone's life. I never want to do that, guys. So let's go ahead and kick it off, guys. We'll be beginning the month continuing with our Red Rising read-along. This is going to be Morning Star by Pierce Brown. Now, guys, with Morning Star, I think that in my memory, Golden Sun was my favorite. But I remember Morning Star was right there with it. So this reread is going to present some new opportunities for someone to take that throne away from Golden Sun. But I'm very excited to do it, guys, because I felt like rereading this has been such a fun experience because there's some things I feel like were there a lot earlier than I remember them being there. And I'm seeing lots of things that I didn't before. And I'm also just kind of like, it's like going back and looking at pictures of your kids and like, oh, you were so adorable and naive. It's just been a great time. But guys, what is Morning Star about? Now, risking everything to transform himself and breach Gold Society, Darrow has battled to survive the cutthroat rivalries that breed society's mightiest warriors, climbed the ranks, and waited patiently to unleash the revolution that will tear the hierarchy apart from within. Finally, the time has come, but devotion to honor and hunger for vengeance run deep on both sides. Darrow and his comrades in arms face powerful enemies without scruple or mercy. Among them are some Darrow once considered friends. And to win, Darrow will need to inspire those shackled in darkness to break their chains, unmake the world their cruel masters have built, and claim a destiny too long denied and too glorious to surrender. Guys, I'm super excited to get back to this one, because I remember how it ends, but there are certain things, like I said, I read all three of these in like a week. So there's stuff that I'm still kind of a little fuzzy on about how we get to where we get by the end of this book. So of all three of these first ones, this is probably the one I'm most excited to revisit and see if it is somehow better than Golden Sun, than what my memory is letting me on. Because there have been a lot of people that have been like, yeah, I liked Golden Sun as much as you did, but I thought Morning Star was even better. So I'm excited to find out. And guys, if you want to jump on that read along, you can read these books really quick. So you can do that because it isn't until book 4 when the books start getting quite beefy. So if you want to kind of jump on and join us, we're doing one per month leading up to the release of Lightbringer in July. It's very exciting times. Can't wait to do it. Next up, guys, I got my books all out of order over here. I'll be digging back into The Tawny Man with Fool's Fate. Sometimes it's hard to remember the titles of her books because they're all so similar. Fool's Fate, I am excited for two reasons. One, I felt like book 2, Golden Fool, was very much just a 650-page setup book for this book. So I'm excited to see the quests that I thought they were going on in the last book actually happen in this one. But also because Fool's Fate is constantly listed as number 1 or number 2 on all fans who have completed the series on their top 10 list. They always have this one or Assassin's Fate, I think, as their favorite book in the series. So I'm very excited, obviously, to get to this because I think it's going to be one of those books where everything in the series changes after this. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I feel like it's finally going to be that moment where everything you thought you knew kind of gets turned up on its head, and we get to see things from a little bit of a different perspective. But Fool's Fate, guys, what is it about? It's about kingdoms must stand or fall on the beat of a dragon's wings or a fool's heart. A small and sadly untried coterie sailed towards a distant island. There they must fulfill the challenge of the betrothed. Only with the completion of this quest can the marriage proceed, and the resulting alliance signal an end to war between two kingdoms. It is not a happy ship. Tensions between the folk of the Six Duchies and their traditional enemies, the Out-Islanders, lie just beneath the surface. Having assured that his beloved friend the Fool is safely left behind in Buckkeep, Fitz is guilt-stricken, but he is determined to keep his fate at bay, since prophecy foretells dark tidings should ever he set foot on the island. But as the ship draws near, a lone figure awaits them. Guys, Fool's fate. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see how she wraps this up. This new version of Fitz is definitely going on a different trajectory than I ever could have imagined, and I'm interested to see how she sets up her final Fitz trilogy with this one. So it's exciting times for me, guys. I feel like I'm finally getting into what's going to be the final arc of Fitz and the Fool here in this series. So exciting times. I'm going to be past the halfway point in this series, and I think this will kind of determine where we're headed for the rest of the series. You know, last month I had a thing where I had Golden Fool and Golden Sun. Well, this month apparently is the month of the Fool, because not only do I have Fool's Fate, I've also got Fool's Hope by Mike Shackle. Now, I don't have a physical one of this yet, so I've got to deal with this one on the old Kindle here. But if you don't know, guys, I read the first book in The Last War last month, which was We Are the Dead, and I absolutely loved it. And I thought that book was so good. It was just what I needed. Perfect timing, but it was incredibly dark, incredibly grim, brutal, hopeless, depressing, reprehensible, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. It was just what I needed at just the right time. And so I'm very excited. I had to kind of shuffle things around to get this on my schedule for this month, because I originally did not have this book on the schedule for March. But I said, you know what? I've got to find a way to get it in there. So I moved some things around, and I think that this is why I'm glad that we moved this to monthly, because I can still make changes like this, because I would love to be more of a mood reader, but I also would like to be structured and scheduled. So that's why I can always move stuff around like this. But Fool's Hope, what is this book about? Now, war takes everything. From Tinstra, it took her family and thrust her into a conflict she only wanted to avoid. Now, as Queen Sole Protector, she must give everything she has left to keep Zarik safe. It has taken just as much from Jaya's revolutionaries, Drin and Jax, battered, tortured, once enemies themselves, now must hold strong against their bruised invaders, the Igril. For the enemy intends to wipe Jaya from the map. They may have lost a battle, but they are coming back. And if Tinstra and her allies hope to survive, Jaya's heroes will need to be ready when they do. Guys, this is such a brutal series, and I hope you guys will check it out, because I'd love to talk to you more about it. Right now, the plan is for me to finish this trilogy and talk to Mike Shackle on the channel about this trilogy, but I want to wait till I'm done with it. That way we can just kind of not have to worry about what we talk about and have a good time with it. And I'd like to actually review this as a trilogy. So I didn't do a rapid review for book number 1, because I think I'm going to review this trilogy as a whole. But I'm very excited. I got to say, I got to thank Petrick and the brothers, Ed and Will Gwynn, over the brothers Gwynn, for recommending this to me, because, guys, this was exactly what I was looking for. It's really, I always get told all the time, oh, I think since you like Abercrombie and Grimdark, I think you'll like that. And I'll read something and be like, that's just, no. This one, I feel like it really is. And I feel like Mike, he's not here for your feelings. He is going to get very brutal. So I give you a warning in advance, guys. There's a lot of trigger warnings. There's lots of stuff in here that modern fantasy is not doing. And Mike apparently gives 0 Fs because he's doing them with an exclamation point at the end. And I hope that continues in Fool's Hope. Next up, guys, I got an arc from Miss Fonda Lee for Untethered Sky. So I'll be doing that one in April as well. Now, this is a very short read, so I'm pretty sure I can do this in a day. That's the plan right now. But I wasn't really sure what to expect, because I said no matter after the Greenbone saga, no matter what she wrote next, I would read. And I guess I expected something a little thicker than this. I don't know if this is a standalone. I don't know if this is part of a series or what, but I will be picking this up in April to talk about it. But as for what it is about, Esther's family was torn apart when a manticore killed her mother and baby brother, leaving her with nothing but her father's painful silence and a single, overwhelming need to kill the monsters that took her family. Esther's path leads her to the king's royal muse, where the giant rocks of legend are flown to hunt manticores by their brave and dedicated rookers. Paired with a fledgling rock named Zara, Esther finds purpose and acclaim by devoting herself to a calling that demands absolute sacrifice and a creature that will never return her love. The terrifying partnership between woman and rock leads Esther not only on the Empire's most dangerous manticore hunt, but on a journey of perseverance and acceptance. Guys, this sounds like The Witcher in the sky. I don't know. This sounds really, really cool to me. I love anytime you're going to deal with a lot of fantasy creatures, and this sounds like this has some original ones and some recycled ones. Manticores are really kick-ass. I think this is really, really awesome sounding. So it sounds like we got a little bit of like an animal companion in here, even if it might not be a loving bond. I think there is going to be a relationship there. But this sounds very exciting. I'm very, very interested. I say in the air because I believe it almost looks like you're in an airship here. I'm not sure. It might just be a regular boat, but it looks like an airship. Maybe that's just because it's got a big giant eagle on the front. But anyway, this sounds really, really cool, and I'm excited to dig into it. And then next up, guys, and this is going to be a reread for the month, and I am super, super excited to do this because, guys, if you don't know, this is my favorite fantasy book ever written, and it's going to be part of my Song of Ice and Fire reread, and it is A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. This book, guys, it's just so amazing. I mean, I love book 1 and 2, and somehow this manages to eclipse it, but this is a monstrous book. Monstrous! So it's like, this is where I'm saying, okay, this month might have got away from me a little bit, but they are doing all that read-along. I decided I was going to jump on board with them, and I said, yeah, I love A Storm of Swords. Guys, I've read this probably 6 or 7 times, and I cannot wait to read it again, because back when there was only the 3 books out, I just kept rereading them over and over and over again, and then I would reread them when a new book released, and now I'm doing that again, even though there is no new book on the horizon yet. Fingers crossed, hopefully, before I die. I would love to see that happen. But again, that's not going to stop me from talking about why I love Westeros. But guys, in case you don't know, what is A Storm of Swords about? Now, of the 5 contenders for power, one is dead and another in disfavor. And still the war rages as alliances are made and broken. Joffrey sits the Iron Throne, the uneasy ruler of the 7 kingdoms. His most bitter rival, Lord Stannis, stands defeated and disgraced, victim of the sorceress who holds him in her thrall. Young Robb still rules the north from the fortress of Riverrun. Meanwhile, making her way across a blood-drenched continent is the exiled queen Daenerys, mistress of the only 3 dragons still left in the world. And as opposing forces maneuver for the final showdown, an army of barbaric wildlings rise from the outermost limits of civilization, accompanied by a horde of mythical others, a supernatural army of the living dead, whose animated corpses are unstoppable. As the future of the land hangs in balance, no one will rest until the 7 kingdoms have exploded in a veritable storm of swords. God, this book is so amazing. I hope that you guys have read it. If you haven't, make it a priority to do so. I say it's my single favorite fantasy book of all time because I can't explain how that book just took over my life. Like, I remember when I was reading it for the first time, guys, I called in sick 2 days in a row just to finish reading the book because it was just that damn good. And I have a feeling it's going to remain that damn good, even though this is the first time I'm rereading it in over a decade. So I'm very, very excited to do so and to be able to talk to others about it. It's going to be a great time. So if I somehow manage to find a way to get through all 5 of those books this month, guys, I do have one more on the list. I am planning to continue into the multiverse, and the next up on that list is Bag of Bones by Mr. Stephen King. Now, in my memory, I liked this. The thing was, like, when I was reading Lisi's story, I was like, I feel like I've already read this before, and it felt like it was the other way around. You know, it was with the author was the one who lived and is the widow, where his spouse passed away, whereas Lisi's story was the other way around. Now, I don't know if it actually has that much in common, but I do know it was a main book. I believe it was Derry, if I recall correctly, and I really, really did enjoy it. I just don't remember a ton about it, but I do remember liking it. And that was during a stretch where King was hit or miss with me as a teenager because he was starting to write about things that I wasn't really super invested in, you know, because I hadn't had any real life experience yet. But Bag of Bones, guys, if you haven't read it, what is it about? 4 years after the sudden death of his wife, 40-year-old best-selling novelist Mike Noonan is still grieving. Unable to write and plagued by vivid nightmares, Mike reluctantly returns to his lakeside getaway. There, he finds his beloved town held in the grip of a powerful millionaire whose vindictive purpose is to take his 3-year-old granddaughter away from her widowed young mother. As Mike is drawn into the struggle, he is also drawn into a mystery of ghostly visitation and escalating terrors, guys. So yeah, it's a little bit of creeps here from King, as he's known to do from time to time. But this one is very much a book about dealing with grief and loss and how to cope with that and get back to your normal everyday life. So anytime Stephen King has an author as a protagonist, usually things get a little crazy and turn out, is an enjoyable read. So I'm excited to revisit that one. But again, that is also quite a long book. So yeah, these are some beastly books that I have on tap this month. So it's very, very ambitious on my part. But look, I did last month, I scheduled 4 books and I ended up reading like 8. You know, so I feel like, okay, maybe I might be underselling myself a little bit, but you know what? It only takes one bad month. But I do think that this whole thing I've done about making sure that I social media a lot less and read more is helping out quite a bit, and I'm going to continue doing that. But however, guys, say somehow I do plow through these, you know, besides I think Untethered Sky, all these books are pretty beefy. But if, say I plow through those somehow, and I have some extra time in my hands, is there anything else I want to check out this month? There is. There is. One of the ones I had to move off the schedule because of reading, what I put back on here, I put on the Mike Shackle book. Because of that, the one that had to kind of get moved to another month, but I would put on this month if I have time, is Last Days by Adam Neville. Now, Adam Neville is a novelist, a horror novelist that I've been recommended a bunch due to you know, my love of Stephen King. After I read Nick Cutter, a lot of people said Adam Neville is someone I think that you would like as well. And Last Days, I love The Ritual, that movie. It was based off of one of his books. So I said I don't want to just read that book. I want to read something else by him. And I got Last Days. Last Days, I think it's like someone who is doing like a documentary on a cult that they think to be long gone, and then as he's researching, he finds out the cult is still very much alive and well, and he gets wrapped up in it. So, hey, cool. Sounds really awesome. I'm interested to see if Adam Neville is an author that clicks with me. Obviously, Drizzt is always going to be one that I'm going to kind of move in and out whenever I've got a chance. I'm still working on Legacy of the Drow, and I've got the book of The Legacy up next. Should be talking to R.A. Salvatore on the channel very soon. I'm very, very excited to do that. I can't wait to get in touch with him and get that nailed down. And then I talked recently about some YA books that I would be interested in starting. I think those Maze Runner prequels would be ones that I might want to kind of throw up on here if I have some time, because I don't think those are very short, guys. They're about the length of that Fonda Lee book, and you can fly through those stupid quick. But that would pretty much be it for me in March. So very, very ambitious month, like I said, but I got some great reads in there. Even if a couple of them are rereads, there's some stuff that I know that I do really, really love, and one in my memory I like quite a bit. So I'm excited to do that as always. In fact, I guess I got 3 rereads this month. So even though I said I wasn't going to do that this year, here I am. It's just, this is the business that we've chosen, guys. So what do you have planned for March? Are you interested in any of these? You want to join me on any of them? I would love to have you. Guys, jump on the Discord if you haven't. We get to talk about these things all the time. A lot of people who don't really, hang out in the comments of the YouTube video stuff, hang out on the Discord. They talk about the new videos there. They talk about a lot of these books I'm talking about reading. They join in and they talk about them there. So I would love to have more of you on the Discord if you are willing. So guys, that's what I got planned for March. What are you guys planning to read? I'd love to know. Drop in the comments and let me know. Let me know if you're going to join me on any of these, and let me know some of the things that you plan to read in March, because I'm always looking to expand that good old TBR. So drop in the comments, guys, and I will talk to you there.